it's important to understand that every company has something. They all have at least one thing that makes them a unique company to be at. What is going on, everybody? Loris here, founder of Carrier Intelligence. I want to talk today about the importance of a USP and why you must define your USP to attract, recruit, and retain those better drivers to work for your company. Now, what is a USP? Well, quite frankly, it is your unique selling proposition. It is those things that make your company unique out in the marketplace. And what that means for you is you as a carrier have something that drivers want. Now, you may or may not know what that is yet. We'll get into how to figure that out momentarily, but it's important to understand that every company has something. They all have at least one thing that makes them a unique company to be at. And when you think about this as a whole, if you broadcast that message out to the marketplace, there are a percentage of drivers that want that one thing that you have, okay? Now, if I were to do a quick exercise, I looked at your company, and let's say 10 miles down the road, there's your competitor. On the surface, you guys look very similar. Let's say you have X number of trucks in your fleet, other company has the same amount of trucks in your fleet, comparable cents per mile or compensation package, comparable equipment, it all looks about the same, right? Well, I guarantee if I were to walk into that company versus yours, they are quite different. It could be something as simple as that, hey, yeah, we have better equipment. It could be that we have the best pay structure in the industry. It could be that we have a fantastic sign-on bonus, but those are usually not the things that drivers actually want. You may think it is, but oftentimes it's not. And if anything, the last couple years of COVID has taught us that drivers do not necessarily care only about compensation and sign-on bonus, okay? So what you need to do is figure out what it is that makes your company special and revolve the bulk of your messaging, whether it be through organic, paid, or third-party methods, using that as your core foundation, and then everything else is kind of supplementary, right? So how do you do this? How do you go out and figure out what your USP is? The easiest way to do this, it's so simple, it's really baffling. This is something you can do today if you'd like to. Go out and create a poll. You could use something like Google Forms, for example, and send this out to all your drivers. Ask your drivers, of course, name, how long they've been with you, all that kind of stuff. If you like to keep it anonymous, totally you can do that. Sometimes when you keep things anonymous, people are more likely to be honest, which is kind of cool. But you go out and you poll your current drivers. Now, you can look at all different drivers, whether they've been with you for a couple weeks or a couple decades. Go out there and send everybody this poll asking what they like most, what they dislike most, what it is that has kept them with you the longest. And what you'll tend to see is 80% ballpark of the time, you're gonna see the same responses again and again and again. Those reasons why people choose to stay with you, that they verbally say again and again and again, that most likely is your USP. And as management, whether you're a director of recruiting, the owner of the company, something in between, you may think you know what it is that drivers like about you, but until you just go right to the source and ask them, you won't know for certain. So it's crucial that you go out and poll your current driver force. Now, if you only have 10 trucks in your fleet, well, that's not a huge sample size to maybe determine, but it's still something. Now, if you have hundreds or perhaps thousands of drivers, that is a massive amount of data that you can quickly compile and distill down to the few key factors that make your company unique. And when you can do that, you have the ability to do something that most companies can't, and that is to know intrinsically what it is that defines you as a carrier. And when you can figure that out, the next things are putting that out to the masses. So let's say, for example, you do this poll, you see that majority of the time drivers are really staying with your company because it's the family first atmosphere, the home time, and perhaps new model equipment. Let's just say those are the 2 or 3 things that kept coming up again and again. Well, now you have the ability to go out and create unique campaigns based off of each of those different core principles, those core USPs. And when you put that messaging out that focuses on that, 2 things are gonna happen. The first thing that's gonna happen is you're going to attract drivers that want that thing. Maybe out in the marketplace, working in another company, weren't even considering changing jobs or exploring new opportunities, but then you present them with an advertisement in a disruptive manner that focuses on what makes your company unique, and it hits the pain point with them so specifically that they're going to almost need to apply. Okay, so that's the first thing that happens. The second thing that's gonna happen is drivers that already have that thing at their current company, or they're not interested in that thing, they're not going to apply as often. And now you're getting the best of both worlds, because you're gonna get people coming to you that want what you have that makes you unique, and you're gonna get less people applying that are just kind of kicking tires and applying for the sake of applying. So you're getting really the best of both worlds, drivers coming that want what you have, and not every Tom, Dick, and Harry applying because they're not interested. You know what I mean? So that is what you wanna do, and you can kind of put that on steroids, go a lot further with split testing, A/B testing of different images, headlines, body, text, call to actions, etc. A lot of different stuff you can do on those avenues as well. But fundamentally, it's adamant that you are able to define your company, what makes your company special, and then have a method to get that message out to the masses. And when you can do that, and you pair that with other techniques like pixel retargeting and all those other advanced methods that exist out in the marketplace that most trucking companies don't know about, you will absolutely have a recipe to not only recruit better drivers, but ideally retain those drivers for a longer period of time, because there was no bait and switch. There was no overpromising, under-delivering. What they saw was truly you. It's the things that you have that makes you unique. And when they get there, they see that is in fact the case. It's already been validated. Your current drivers already told you that's what they like about it. And so it's a lot more of a plug and play model rather than having this constant revolving glass door of drivers coming in, drivers coming out. And that ultimately is how you can scale a trucking company, okay? So very, very important exercise. Hopefully it was helpful. Catch you on the next video.